All right, welcome back to another episode of the Within Range podcast. Ear God, Jared Suter, Dom Juan. Yeah, Ear God is on the episode today. Doesn't
Had to
happen
make this
often.
one.
Back with another one of them block rocking beats.
It's Good Friday.
It is.
I think we'll acknowledge that, but it's about to be a better Friday with the guest we have on today.
Absolutely. Well said.
I like that.
I first heard about him, and Jared, I don't know if it's the same for you, but the Phoenix Cypher. We've had Benji on, we've had Vavrix on. That was the first time I'd come across him, and I believe he went first in that freestyle, and right away I was like, and then we'll get into the real story. Remember, you know which story I'm talking about? There was actually some other mode put us onto you, and what's crazy is we communicated not long after. We'll get into
One
that.
of our best manifestations to date, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll get into that.
Okay.
And I wasn't aware of how much music this man has put out. I mean, just within, I think was it 3-4 years? Some
Yeah.
of the projects you've been pumping out. So he's been working.
On track to be too short. For sure.
Yeah, pretty damn
Jeez,
sure.
it's a
Pretty
lot
damn
of
close.
projects.
Yeah.
And when we got the cassette tapes, all I got to do is
Yes,
open the trunk,
exactly,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The custom ones.
Hell yeah.
And so excited to learn more about his story and journey. Repping North Phoenix, we are here today with Maze Overlay.
What's up? Thanks for having me. Appreciate y'all, man.
Man, thank you for coming on, dude. I feel like I had my suspicions that you were a man that cared deeply about the scene before you came on, just talking before the show. 100% confirmed, so it means a lot that you're here. I don't know if there's an official nickname, but I'm going to go with Mr. Asalama Pepa
I
in
like
the building.
that.
Okay.
I like that.
Heard that bar in the song, and I was like, I need that.
May the paper be with you.
May the paper be
fire.
with you. It's a fire project name, dude.
I
May
like
the
that.
paper be
I
with
like
you.
that.
Happened.
I'm about to adopt that alias.
Gem from the jump. Yeah, Maze, thanks for coming on. Like Jared said, man, we got put on. We started listening. We started paying attention. And we're like, this is meant to be. So we always like to get started, Maze, with, how'd you get started? How you got to where you're at? Let's kind of, fill in some gaps. But first thing that it's important to know, because I live in North Phoenix, but you might be one of the first artists, Jared, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, that reps North Phoenix. We've had Southside, we've had Glendale, we've had Chandler.
It's been enough episodes. I'd have to check the data at this point, but I think you're right. You're right.
North Phoenix.
Yeah.
Specifically where? Tell us.
I mean, I'm from the square, dog. I'm from
Dude, you're talking to listen, I have
29th and Greenway, boy.
Dude, okay, 29th.
Jared,
nice.
tell him.
You weren't
36,
you weren't on Beck
32nd.
Lane, right?
I mean, shit, we was over there.
Okay,
Beck.
nice,
I mean,
dude. I
that's
was
just
over
one of the
there,
little.
dude.
Yeah, I see you.
Dude,
just north of Greenway.
No, I was
south.
just north of
Just
Greenway.
north of Greenway,
on,
yeah.
On Beck Lane there. Yeah, it was like it had the upholstery shop and stuff up front
Yep.
with the van that was all blown
He literally
out.
just moved.
Dude, I
from
just sold that last year and bon voyage.
I mean,
I love it though.
The square basically, Cave Creek, 32nd, Bell, Greenway, right? So, like, I had a crib right on 36 in Greenway, but even before I had the crib, it was 29th Street.
Yep.
Like my boy Jeremy Johnson lived on like the Cave Creek and Greenway right there, right by the Walgreens, I think, or the CVS.
Yep.
And like we just stayed in that little pocket, man, and it was active, as they say.
Say R.I.P. to that Walgreens, dude. They closed it, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
did they?
yeah. A lot of
Dude,
shit
it was
did,
too,
man.
too trenched in there, dude.
Man.
Yeah, it was a good time, dude. It was-
So, Maze, I was going to ask, for those who may not be familiar with the square, that part of Phoenix, how would you describe it in your own words?
I mean, like, it depends on the time frame. So when I first moved here, it was 98, 99. And, the 51 only went to Bell,
Really?
Yeah. No, so much has changed. Like, it was really getting built up. I feel like the whole, like, I mean, we seen the East Valley grow, but, like, the whole north part of, like, Scottsdale and North Phoenix, like, really kind of blew up. Like, Desert Ridge wasn't a thing yet. Like, we really watched it kind of become a thing. Yeah. And, when I first lived there, it was like, I mean, just to call it for what it is, a lot of crazy ass white boys, a lot of Mexicans, like Paisa and Chicano, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of a culture shock for me, because coming from Maryland, like, it was just a different demographic, and I just grew up differently. So coming out here, it was like, holy shit, this is a whole different way of life. I didn't know what the fuck. I couldn't speak Spanish. I didn't know what the fuck guacamole was. Like,
What brought you out here?
I mean, my folks moved out here. So,
okay. Okay. So
we're
Same
Italian.
here.
So my family, there was another Italian family that moved out here. The Grazianos, shout out to the Grazianos. My homegirl Erica, she was like a little sister to me, and we grew up together in Maryland. So my family decided to come out here just because they was tired of the East Coast, you know. And I was getting in trouble out there, and they were like, "Fuck it, it's time for a change." Oh, I can curse, right?
Yeah, say whatever you want, man.
But yeah, they were like, "It's time for a change." So we moved out here, and we stayed with them for a little bit, and we found ourselves right in North Phoenix, and. When we eventually moved out, did our own thing, we was just kind of living all over. Like, it was like Tatum and Bell, 40th and Bell, 36 and Greenway.
You stayed north though.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's just kind of where we landed. So there's plenty of little pockets, but I think that from the outside, North Phoenix is a nice area, man.
It's awesome.
I'll be the first one to tell you,
Phoenix.
it's not.
Love it.
I was surprised when I moved there. So like we didn't know it was called the Square. Like I bought the townhouse and stuff, and we were there for a few months. The person I was with at the time, her brother was living with us. His motorcycle got stolen from the place.
Normal.
And exactly. And so the cop came, and we were like, that was the first time I had anyone I was near had like a vehicle stolen. And he was just like, yeah, it happens all the time in the Square. And we're like, what?
I remember
we learned quick.
I think we had an episode coming up. He's like, dude, I just found out I live in the Square. And
really, he's like, what is that?
I've been in Arizona 15 years, but I didn't know what that was. And then he explained it. And then I now
follow
follow
the Instagram page.
I was going to say, I now follow the Instagram page.
Shout
I
out
was
the
like,
Square.
there's always stuff popping off over there.
I do miss my eloteros out there, though, dude.
Yeah, man. Los Betos was my spot,
Dude,
bro.
Los
Betos is
my
good.
spot, bro.
What is it?
The Whataburger is...
Tacos Jalisco Tacos Jalisco down there.
Jared, we hit up the Whataburger many a night.
Oh, dude.
Many a night.
Yo, not for nothing, there was a sushi spot called Kampai Sushi, right? It was right next to the little karate place, right next to the across.
Hobby Lobby near in there?
I mean, is it the same parking lot where it's got the Whataburger?
Yes.
So there was a sushi spot that was
What?
like my boy knew the chef. His name was AG's son. Rest in peace. Like, bro, they were like one of the illest sushi spots.
Is it tiny little spot?
Tiny little
yes,
spot. Yes,
I know what you're talking about.
Sushi in the Square.
Dude,
yeah,
sushi in the
good.
Square.
Yeah,
Low key, this was
right.
like one of the illest, man. AG's son and Yuki's son, man. Them guys, that's where I learned how to eat sushi. Shout out my boy Ghost. Put us all on, man. But
Maybe we get him on the pod. at some
Omakase
point.
in there, dude?
yeah, bro. They throw
Hitting
some.
you with the omakase
Yeah, they
your
throw you
way?
the omakase shit, bro. Like these guys were fucking wizards, man. They were real Japanese, like real deal, and it was in the fucking Square, bro.
They
I
still
love
there?
that.
Ah, man, they sold it. They sold it years ago, and one of them passed. So it was like
Listen, you got to reap the fruits of your labor, dude. Got to enjoy it, But I feel that. I get that.
they had it for a while. It was family shit. Like I don't know, like I know a little bit of the backstory, but it was just a lot going on. But either way, like we had a fucking gem right there, and just that whole area, man. I feel like no one's gonna sit here and be like, oh my God, the Square is like like Watts or Compton or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but it was pretty saucy, and
Just people smoking crack while you're walking to the mailbox. It happens. Like it's not.
I used to
Little
go over
That's
bad
not
there.
crack.
Compton.
I used to go over there and I'm like, are those fireworks or those gunshots?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
like
it's-
I think people like they always kind of write North Phoenix off, and no one's trying to. This ain't a pissing contest for whose hood is the craziest.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
all know
yeah.
about Maryville and West Side City and fucking Doble, East Side. You know what I mean? Like Dupa. Like I mean, there's all these different buildings and all these different little pockets where it's fucking lit. It's active, and like I'm not. No one's trying to like. It's not really a flex. It's just like it is what it is, and it is what it was. I mean, it's different now than what it was when I first came out here, but that shit was crazy.
Now
We
they
were
got Devin Booker handing out shoes at the school right there.
love
dude.
that.
Yeah.
I still got to go to the court up there too. I heard he put the court like somewhere.
Oh,
right,
did he? Oh,
Yeah,
right
so
around
he
the
built
square.
the
That's
court
what he's
right
doing up
by
there,
where you
okay.
were at.
So yeah,
Thought
I'm
he was
at,
handing out shoes.
I'm gonna have to shoot a video. Love that too.
That'd be
Yeah,
sick.
Book is like our he's like our local representative.
We'll
man.
talk about
Like,
the track too, D-Book.
Yeah.
good one.
I actually shot a video for that, but it ended up getting scrapped, man, just because it wasn't up to par.
Well, now
but
you can do, I mean, look, I know it might be
Yeah,
on the
we got
track, but
another
pull up
chance
to the court,
Yeah. It's hard for me to go back and shoot an old video though, man.
Yeah.
I'm like already on the new shit, but
Okay.
but no, man, we love Book, man. Book is definitely I'm surprised he's still in Phoenix, man, but I'm happy he is.
Apparently he's about to get paid.
I wouldn't be
After
surprised.
KD
He's gonna get a
leaves,
fucking
supposedly.
statue if he sticks around.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
Oh,
what I
my
mean?
God, he sticks around. Yeah.
So and
I'll
boy
get my
got the
first
most.
tattoo.
He got the illest classic whips in the
Yeah.
city. I'm sure.
Yeah, he drives like the old school Chevys and all
Yo.
blacked out.
Dude, he has
like,
the old Pontiac that I think from stock from the factory. I think you could bend the frame and do wheelies and shit. I'm blanking on the name. That black one. crazy look.
Not the
We'll
Grand
have to look
Prix,
it up.
right?
No. We'll find
Yeah,
it,
book
but-
cold with it, man. Always rocking like some, rocking the chucks with, he's got the mo down.
And he's not in the tabloids, like some of these other ball players who date a Kardashian or do some high profile shit. Books.
I mean,
pretty
he did
low-key.
do that.
No,
He
no,
did.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Oh,
He
no,
checked
I'm
that
just-
box.
No, I'm
Probably
just
wasn't his
saying.
best year
I'm
either.
just saying
Guys
it's
that date
low key though.
Kardashians.
Like
Yeah,
you didn't know
yeah.
what that relationship was about because
Yeah.
you're like you don't see Book. You
I
know
have
what
a-
I'm saying? He's not
I have
all
a
over.
decent idea, dude.
Yeah,
I
he
know
not
what
the,
it would have been about if I was.
He not the flashiest.
No. All right, so let's get into the name, Maze Overlay. Just very unique name.
Yeah.
It's just something you don't hear a lot. How did you come up with that?
Man, it's like when I answer this question, it is never as grandiose as I think a lot of people make it out to be. But
Did you put it in the Wu Tang name generator? Was it one of those?
if we only had like a chat GBT fucking ill name generator back in the day, I think that, I used, early on in my career when I was with a group and I was around other artists that like kind of named me almost, and I kind of went off my government, I just used to go by D Valentine, you know what I mean? So, but I feel like that sounds more like an R&B singer.
It
and
kind of
shit.
does.
So,
That's
like,
what I said.
Yeah,
Definitely does.
so
Pimping all over the world, D Valentine.
Right. Like I just hopped off a private jet or something with a briefcase on or some shit.
That
I'm
sounds
about to
nice.
Nothing wrong
serenade your
with that.
baby mama or some shit.
Yeah,
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
I love it.
But I used to fuck around with Killer Priest, and
Oh,
Killer
dude.
Priest was like one of my early mentors.
It's a Wu Tang affiliate, Killer.
Yeah,
Priest.
for sure. We was in that little vein for a little bit, and that's when I was with Vendetta Kings and everything, and there's a lot of love in my heart for that. That was an interesting subgenre. But Priest used to always call me King David, so I like had all these little pseudonyms, and I never really identified heavily with it, especially when I got out of that whole lane, and I was kind of going through a rebirth.
Killer Priest is some deep shit.
Killer Priest is the deepest,
It's
man.
dude, like you come away and you're just like you have to replay tracks over and over because you're like, what did I even?
For
like,
sure. He was like the originator of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, Heavy Mental. Just what he was doing was crazy. So we
Bible.
classic.
Correct, yeah.
Him and Jizza. Liquid Swords is one of my favorite albums growing up.
That's one of the best
you know?
Wu Tang. I got my order of Wu Tang albums, but Liquid Swords is top 3.
Yeah, it's gotta
All
be.
time Wu Tang albums.
It's gotta be,
Flawless.
And Jizza is an actual
The
real
genius.
life fucking genius.
He's a genius.
I think he has a fucking physics degree or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
He
So.
does.
he was-
Yeah,
he was, like,
did
teaching
lecture,
physics,
He was
right?
lecturing, yeah.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Nah, so Priest brought us around, like, man, we got to kick it with Ghostface a couple times.
Wait, hold on. Did I miss something here? Like you were tied to Killer Priest at one time?
Yeah, no, me and Priest were like, man, we're like fam, bro.
The Killer Priest. Okay, wow, I missed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought he just was. You were a fan of him. I didn't know.
Nah,
he
this
was-
is just early. No, we brought Killer Priest out to Arizona in 06. And we flew him. The crazy part is, like, tonight how it started raining and shit. I love that. We ain't even in monsoon season yet, but I brought Killer Priest out and ended up hailing.
Beautiful.
It was a fucking hailstorm. So, like,
Beautiful.
we was on that spiritual shit anyway back then, right? So, and to us, it was like a premonition or some shit. We just brought him out to do, like, a track, and he was like, oh, it's hailing. It's a sign. I'm going to get back in the studio. So we ended up doing 3 joints. And,
crazy.
today we probably have 15, 16 tracks together. We had Vendetta Kings has an album with Priest, man. Priest definitely, like, showed us a lot of love. And we used to go to L.A. He's lived in L.A. for a long time. And, Priest just, he used to bring us to part. I got crazy stories with Priest,
So
bro.
you were about to mention
Crazy.
Ghostface. Like what? Like tell me
Yeah.
about some of the interactions you might have had with the Wu, because
Oh man,
That's
so Ghostface came out one time with Sheik Luch and a DJ. I can't remember his name.
what year was that? Because I might have been at that concert. Did they play at Club Red? Do you know?
It was Club Red.
Dude,
Hold
I
on.
was there.
Was that the Al? Was that the one that had
Yes,
the red Al?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I was at that show.
Dude, I was
we
at that
passing
show
out CDs
With the
and
Waffle
shit.
House in the parking
I
lot.
was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Priest brought us
That's
out for that.
crazy.
Yeah, so that was like the Wu Block.
Yes,
shit,
there's the Wu
remember?
Block tour.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we was there for that.
dude.
We was passing. We was on the tour bus and shit, just kicking it. Priest brought us in, man. Like, to us as kids, we're like, I'm on that Supreme Clientele shit. So I'm just like, it's
Supreme,
fucking
you heard,
Ghostface,
Supreme Clientele 2 is about to drop.
Yeah,
Nas,
yeah.
Nas producing that.
So the one of the executives behind that, he was one of the first people that I linked up with in New York. His name's Phantom. Tragedy Gaddafi introduced us. So I like really started my like origin story came from like that, like Wu Tang, Sons of Man, Black Market Militia,
Killer Army.
Yeah, I mean, not directly, but like
Okay.
we loved like Bronze. Like I mean, I know Bronze too. We rapped over Bronze shit. Like, that was a big thing, and it was especially the time period. You know, I call it like the Jedi mind trick era. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's kind of like Wu Tang was still doing like Think Differently.
Yeah.
It was like a big project back then, and Rock Marciano was on that project. Like there was just a lot of people on that shit. Vast Air, or Cannibal Ox. You know, there was just so many elements that were in the pot at that time, and we were just a part of it, especially in Arizona. Like that was a sound that like nobody in Arizona was fucking with. You know what I mean? We weren't on like super street shit. We weren't on like the Chicano shit. It wasn't on like the just there was like a certain time where it was just like AZ rap, right? Where it was kind of one dimensional. And
Cottonmouth Kings. That type of
that's
stuff.
SoCal shit.
Yeah, I know, but when I first moved out here, I didn't know about Cottonmouth Kings. I'm from the Midwest, and I almost thought they were an Arizona group, and how much people like repped them and talked about them out here. I was like, what?
I learned about them going up to a summer camp once.
Yeah.
Going up in Flagstaff.
Yeah, they had
Don't Make Me Beg's fire though.
They had that. They had that run too. That was kind of in that same time frame.
Yeah.
So but just going back to like Priest and everything, like that was kind of like the start. So we jumped into this super underground shit, and going back to the name, like after kind of having like a good run with that. I mean, I was just as prolific back then. I say me, but like as a group, we had 10, 12 projects or some shit.
Yeah.
So after this long run of like, and then we were working with people like Hellraiser and Timbo King and Tragedy. I worked with Planet Asia back then. Like, I mean, we was out there. We was
That's some real underground shit for those like
super underground.
If you know though.
I mean, Planet Asia now. I mean, like he's good now. Like, but back then it was like Planet Asia was rapping on DJ Premier beats. So I mean, you call it underground, but like he was like at the top of that shit. Razcast we linked up with. Like, I mean, Priest brought us around so many people, man. I met fucking Freddie Gibbs at this random party, like at this GTA 5 release party, fucking with Priest, bro. We just brought us out. We were like, I'm Ludacris over here, the game over here. Like we had this. Tyler was in there. Like, I mean, it was wild, bro. Wow. And me and Freddie Gibbs. This is before. It was funny because Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist was both at the same party, and they wasn't even working yet.
And so, now they freaking make bangers classics.
Alfredo some fire shit. So like, but Gibbs was just coming off all the Jeezy shit. So like, I just caught him on some like it's crazy because at the time not a lot of people in the party really knew who the fuck he was. And of course nobody knows who the fuck I am. Alchemist knew who Priest was, right? So like they're all at that time I'm just kind of like a fly on the wall.
Dude, yeah.
And I see Gibbs and I'm like, yo, what up? Freddie Gibbs, like I heard that ghetto track. That shit is fire. He's like, oh, he's by himself. So I'm just like, yo, what's up? You want a drink or something? So we just start taking shots and shit. We ended up getting faded. And then the after party was at Boa in Hollywood and shit. And,
okay, nice.
I ended up fucking. They had this cheese fucking shit. Like they had the waiters with the
charcuteries.
Bro, they had a cheese fucking table. My boy, it was a cheese table, dog. This wasn't normal charcuterie. They had like one of my favorite cheeses, Pecorino Toscano, right? Like I'm on some connoisseur shit. I know it's a sheep's milk.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Of course, we all are, bro. Come on, Parmesan Reggiano's the GOAT. It's a classic. But Pecorino Toscano, it's like Reggiano, but just more creamy and buttery.
I like that.
Like it's
I
more
like
fire.
Breeze too. I like a nice Brie.
And it's a sheep's milk, so it's not like the cow's milk like the regular Reggiano. This is like extra exquisite. Right, like if you had Pecorino Toscano, you would trust. You would be like, "This is fire."
We got Tony's down there. You know Tony's?
Yeah, bro. You got
one better.
You got Romanelli's over here, bro.
Romanelli's
on 35th.
Okay,
come on, bro.
Listen, I'm Irish.
Yo, you got.
Listen.
I beg your pardon. It's all good. Listen, you know what I mean? I forgive you. But not Italian delis.
Your last name's Tony.
Andrioli's in Scottsdale. DeFalco's.
I know DeFalco's.
DeFalco's
and Romanelli's, bro. Those
Romanelli's.
Those are the. I think it's like 35th and Dunlap or 35th and I forget because I don't really come over here too much anymore. I'm like more of a Central Phoenix guy now.
Diet trenches over there.
But yeah, I mean that's one of the staples over here.
That's awesome.
You talk about Tony's on Cave Creek and
right.
Yeah. So I used to know him.
Stop it,
bro.
You know Tony?
Like he was old as fuck. Tony? I hope he's still alive. But
dude, I think it's still Tony. Dude.
Wow. But I used to pop in there all the time. That's
is
real like family oriented. It's super family, super small.
Do not come in there in a hurry.
For sure.
Don't do it. Don't
For
bring
sure.
that in.
Yeah,
If you
because
not
they
bring that energy,
they're gonna be old school with the ring up. You know what I
Dude,
mean? Like
it's the
yeah.
same one you'd see like in a Kurt Russell cowboy movie or something like that.
really?
Dude. Like they have the old.
Tony's is fire too.
It's
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They're just not doing volume like that. It's more.
So
That's more of a
Romanos.
niche
Okay.
deli. You know what I mean?
All right, I like that.
If you know about it, you know about it. Like it's right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's
Romanelli's, that's the one.
I mean, it's just they ain't gonna miss.
Wow.
You know, so it depends what you get, but like you know, but either way, I'm at this party and I'm fucking with this pecorino toscano.
This was talking cheese.
With this fucking with the champagne with the waiters that got the champagne on the tray like I'm something out the Simpsons and shit.
Right,
You know?
right.
And I'm just throwing them back, bro. I ended up fucking throwing up in the bathroom and shit. They kicked me out. I had to call Priest. I was like, yo, bro, they fucking killed. But we was getting faded, bro. Like
Priest
Gibbs
had
was
that.
faded
It
too.
was like,
Gibbs,
yeah,
we was all
Pecorino
talking
Man.
shit. Like we was wilding, bro. It was a fun ass time though. But we got to kick it with Ghostface that night.
Dude, the God.
Before that show, we went to they were at the Best Western in Phoenix, and
That's where they were staying at?
yeah, bro. I mean, what? You know,
I was gonna
Hey,
say Best
listen,
Westerns back in the day were
it
something.
was probably paid for. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Best
yeah,
Westerns
sure,
were
yeah,
had
yeah.
a little more prestige.
I just
back
thought my
then.
Wu Tang.
Yeah.
I'm a big Wu Tang guy, so I thought my Wu Tang guys. were
Phoenician,
just, you
come
know.
on.
But
Yeah,
it wasn't
right.
like it was the Wu tour.
Right,
like,
no, it was a Wu
wasn't
block.
like,
Yeah.
you know, this
Chic
is-
Luch, yeah.
they were just like it was a few of them, you
Yeah.
know. But we took it back and we whipped up. My boy cooked up this whole spread for him and shit. Like,
Wow.
and then we were there for the 20th anniversary of Cuban Links too.
I was
the
at that concert.
Marquee Theater.
I got footage.
Yeah, we was
I
on stage.
there,
We was
dude.
on stage. Ghostface shouted out Men to the Kings that night, man. That was one of the like coolest moments for us, like as a group, you know, especially back then. We talking like, what was that 2010 or some shit?
No, dude, that would have been
11, 12?
No, my buddy AJ moved down. That would have been like 13, 14, something like that. I'm almost
Okay,
certain of it.
okay.
Oh wait, no, the first time they came out twice, I think.
The
first time
20th
might have been-
anniversary Cuban Links tour. I'd have to look up the years. Because
Yeah.
if
It was
when did
15
Cuban
it was
Links drop?
15.
It was 95, yo.
Yes, so I was right. Yeah, I thought it was like
I was at
13,
that show,
14.
too. We was all at that motherfucker.
Yeah, I thought it was like 13, 14.
People was hitting me up at that show. They're like, yo, I seen you on stage. Da, 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 da.
That's
Like,
crazy.
yeah, that shit was fun as fuck.
Yeah,
Ghostface.
anytime the Wu comes here, I even told Jared like their final concert or their final tour they're doing. I think they're pulling through in like June, July. Those tickets are gonna be crazy, but supposedly they're retiring, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was Wu Tang, I'm never gonna retire, bro.
Why
I'm-
would
Can't
you?
do it.
Why would
Yeah,
you?
that tour
Wu-Tang's
money's
forever.
crazy.
Wu-Tang's
Matthew
forever.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to do
Same
one
as-
more album, and then I think RZA's not even producing it. I think he's just rapping on it.
Oh wow.
I ain't mad at that. I mean, shit,
Alchemist-
like
maybe Alchemist
the Wu Tang albums, quote unquote, is such a mystery school because like all the solo albums are technically Wu Tang albums. You know,
That's
like
right.
so you
I
can
can
say
see
It's crazy.
you know, like Cuban Links, you got all these different, like almost everybody makes every album.
Yeah.
You know, not always, but it's like.
No,
you know,
Takal
like,
had that. You had that on
Takal 2000 is one of my favorites.
ODB's first album.
Yeah.
They were all in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, Cuban Links is, in my opinion, that's my favorite, and I think it's the best Wu Tang album.
that's
track
why I
to
got
track.
that's why I got the purple tape.
Dude.
You know what I mean? So like,
Legendary.
That's
yeah,
fire.
I mean, like, you know, incarcerated Scarfaces, fucking verbal intercourse. These
I
are
did
like,
not know we were going on a Wu Tang thing, dude. This is like
We've talked.
Yeah, that's
cheese,
like
we're
the-
talking woo.
That's that's like the precursor to Maze Overlay. So to like long-winded answer to
Hey,
the
listen,
question,
Wow.
my fault. Usually how this shit work, right?
Call it a comeback.
My boy, we're like 2011, and we're like going through some artwork, and I'm there with my boy Ghost. He's like the chef, and he's looking at this piece of artwork that this kid sent us, and he's like, just randomly, he's like, bro, this look like some Maze Overlay shit. And I just kind of was like, ears perked up like a Doberman and shit. And I was like, the fuck is that? What the fuck is a Maze Overlay, bro? And he's just like, I don't know. He's probably high as fuck. You know, he was smoking on some fucking gas back then, you know. And, you know, he was just like, I don't know. It's just what the art looked like. Looked like some Maze Overlay shit. I'm like, Maze Overlay? What the fuck? So it just stuck with me. And, you know, I kind of just started to incorporate it in my rhymes as like a little pseudonym, you know what I mean? And that is what kind of, it was random. And I like it because it was so artistic, you know what I mean? And also the idea of a maze, right? Mm-hmm. It's hard to figure out. It's hard to put a finger on, you know what I mean? Be like, oh shit, this is what it is. This is how to like, people always be like, yo, especially when we was rapping on like a lot of the spiritual shit, they'd be like, yo, you Christian, you Muslim, like you 5%er, you God, by what are you? I'd be like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, for a little bit of everything, man. Like,
You did say Assalamu Pepa, so maybe they thought.
yeah, you know, inshallah. But a lot of
La
that,
ilaha illallah.
we got a lot of that 5%er like Islamic slang from listening
To the
Wu and
They were all doing,
you know, even
talking
like
about-
Brand Nubian
Yeah.
and you know, just like, you know, all the affiliates, like, you know, they all, a lot of them are 5% God Body, you know, Nation of Gods and Earths, you know, whatever the fuck they identify as, like, it's all different sects of Islam. And plus, like, you know, a lot of people, I'm really outspoken about the fact I study Malcolm, you know, so when I studied Malcolm, I kind of cut through a lot of the bullshit. I realized rappers just trying to be cool and like, you know, you go to jail, you know, you a dude who goes to jail and you on the East Coast and you come out rocking the kufi, or you know, you get locked up in Maricopa County and you come out with the Bible and shit. Like a lot of that shit is fucking fugazi, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but it helped a lot of people too.
Yeah.
And when I got to Malcolm, I was like, because I grew up on Dead Prez.
Oh,
and
wow, yeah.
Dead Prez is one of my
Some
favorite
real
groups.
shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was. And
I
it
always
still
remember
is.
that they were on that Dave Chappelle's block party.
That's
and I was
right.
Like, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
dude, like
that's
he
right.
brought up
Yeah.
Dead
Dave
Prez.
Chappelle had good taste in
Dude,
music.
he did,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he
You
put
know,
some
he'd have
people-
like Kweli, Most,
Yes.
Lauryn Hill.
I'm
Dude.
pretty
like,
sure the time Kanye was on there, I think that was Kanye's first televised performance.
when they cooking and shit?
Yeah, I think that was the first time Kanye performed on TV.
He could have stopped right there and been fucking legendary.
Yeah, that's
We would have
true.
lost a lot, dude.
I had to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, shout out to Kanye, man. It's all good.
Dude.
No love, no hate. Just he figured himself out, man. It's such a hot topic now, you know. But you know, I've heard him say some shit where I'm just like, okay, like a lot of this is accurate, and then he go off the fucking rails and say some wild shit, you know. But hey, one thing I love is as long as if you're being authentically you, fucking keep doing it, man.
Facts.
You know
I mean,
what
I gotta say, George Bush hates black people to where we are now is a pretty wild,
Yeah, he's come a
wild
long
turn
way.
of events. I
Yeah.
didn't have that. That would have been plus 20,000 probably on
Give or
DraftKings
take.
there.
Put that statement on steroids, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I feel like the music's so it's funny on this show, like, you know, we have like what we call the background first and the music. I feel like where this is going, we might get to music soon, but I did want to ask really quick about manner.
Yeah.
It's a theme that I feel like I've seen kind of throughout. I see the hat you got on now.
Yeah.
For those again who just might not be from Phoenix or don't know what Manor is, talked about like why that's. It seems like it's important to you. It's a company you really
It
fuck
is.
with. So.
It is. Shout out to Manor, man. Everybody listening, make sure you fucking tag them, shoot them a message, tell them I need my sponsorship, man. I'm still waiting on my response, man. No, one of the owner, Jeremy, he was really cool. Like in the very beginning, I think they started in 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Are they in Central Phoenix?
Yeah, their flagship store is at Central and Camelback.
I used to live on Central Camelback, and I remember like there was
Near, like,
a couple
Stinkweeds,
stores
right? It's
popping
not
up.
too far
Boom,
down
and
there,
Cowtown's right there.
Yeah.
That to me is the heart of the city. Central and Camelback is like the heart of Phoenix, right? You could go to like if you actually like go to Phoenix, like you navigate to Phoenix, Arizona, it's probably gonna take you to like 7th and Roosevelt or some shit.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but to me, which is also pretty much the heart of the city, like you closer to downtown, but like Central and Camelback is like all the restaurants,
Uptown,
yeah,
it's right
yeah.
there.
Like
I
you
agree, man. I
kind of
totally
going up to uptown, but like you also like right on the edge of like
the
being in-
the VA hospital's not
Yeah.
too far from that.
There's
right
some
down there.
good spots around here. There's some incredible spots around here. But like, if I'm going for an all-out date or like the absolute vibe, I'm going to that part of town.
Calm down, incredible. There ain't nothing over here, bro. Calm down. Like, what are
No,
you
there's
talking
some
about?
good spots
In North Phoenix?
absolutely. In
Northwest
this isn't
Phoenix?
North. This is Northwest. I
This
guess
is
it would
this
be
is like
Kinda.
this is like
over
Sunny
there.
Slope, right?
This
I
is like
think-
South
Kind,
Slope.
that's
it's
what
like,
I would.
It's like
yeah,
Sunny
okay.
Slope area, right?
Lucy's in
We
the
reaching.
Orchard's
We
good
reaching
over
for a part of
there.
town on this
No,
one.
The tavern over there is good.
The tavern, bro. I know you
Yeah.
ain't. That ain't date night though.
No, the patio, the one that used to be Taco Bianco or something Bianco.
We reaching though. Like you go to Central Phoenix, it's like we got this for days. Like
Yeah.
like this is one of the reasons that drove me out of North Phoenix. Is I was like, bro, where are we going up here? You know, one of the dopest spots, Lovecraft, on
I know
30
Lovecraft.
on 32nd and Cactus.
I ate
Dope
upstairs
beer.
there. Yeah.
See,
Like
for
I mean,
me,
there's
Mage,
some okay spots over here.
for me, Mage, you go up to where I'm at, which is near Desert Ridge, and that's where I'm at. That's all. Like when I dip out to come out, because I'm off Cape Creek and Deer Valley Road, so Desert Ridge is like that's. See, it's funny because coming here, I thought that's what I would consider North Phoenix, but I guess like how far down south would you consider North Phoenix?
I feel like once you
there.
get south of Cactus, you're kind of like you're getting into Midtown.
Agreed.
Okay.
You know what I
so
mean?
that's the
Like
cutoff,
Northern
yeah.
Bethany home. Like at that point, you're in Midtown. You know, you're whatever. Like Midtown
Yeah.
is such a fucking like some people say Camelback's Midtown. I'm like, yeah, Camelback kind of central to me.
That's also, it could be Arcadia down there. It could be
Yeah,
Biltmore.
it's
It
Biltmore
could be,
East.
Yeah, it's Biltmore.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
exactly. So you got all these little pockets, and then you got like the district, like the Coronado, the fucking whatever. Like,
Damn, we're getting the AZ history.
I mean, I
like-
was gonna say,
we're-
like,
dude,
it does
we've
get
never
down
done
'cause
this
it's
before.
like, okay, we're in like Uptown or North Phoenix, and then this would be South Sunny Slope, and then this would specifically be like Royal Palms. Like, dude, like it gets down
Damn.
to that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
yeah, it's like that. Like, you got Coral Gables and shit,
Yep,
right?
yep,
Moon
yep,
Valley,
yep,
right?
yep.
Like,
Moon Valley,
which is
yeah.
like, that's just 7th and fucking Thunderbird.
That's
to
all
me.
that is. Yeah.
Like, it's, you put all these cute names on it, but like, I still consider 7th and Thunderbird North Phoenix. But once you
Yes.
go
Okay.
over the mountain,
then it's
you're not really in North Phoenix. Then you kind of like more Sunny Slope. As soon as you hit like you on 7th and Dunlap,
Dunlap
7th,
is-
then you pretty much in the
Yes,
slope.
that's the
Okay.
slope
And then
right
once you hit like Bethany home, then you pretty much in Midtown.
100%.
Once you pass
100%.
Camelback, like really once you get to Roosevelt, you like almost downtown.
Drew. You know a lot of these names. Drew's been out
what's-
here a handful of times.
What's so funny is like I'm hearing all these names and then I'm like I've heard this before. I've heard this
Yeah,
before.
you've been there. You've been to these places.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm
yeah.
too. I don't think I'm too off, Drew. Correct me
No.
if I'm wrong.
No, no,
I think I'm
Well,
geographically on point.
He's from Indiana, so he comes out and visits. He's been out here, what, Drew? Maybe 4 or 5 times since I lived
About
out
4 or
here?
5 times in.
Yeah.
What's awesome is seeing everything from the outside looking in. It's almost like I hear more people that have more history and like more in the know on our podcast than I feel like anybody else that I've seen
Yes.
that just like represent like a specific type of channel or whatever. And what's cool is because now when I go out there and he shows me the different places, I'm like, oh, I remember when so and so talked about this. So it's crazy because now like when everybody gives like a food spot and things like that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write this down. I want to go visit this place now and go check it out.
Yeah, we
So-
should talk food spots, not for nothing. But
Jared,
look,
Jared,
That's all- that's
we've
all
talked
I have to
about
say,
doing
yeah.
this
I mean,
on
I'm
the
not
pod.
like an expert, but I mean, one of the things I love, my family lives up at like South Mountain and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm blanking on the name now. I'm blanking on all the names right now. It's a Mexican restaurant down there. It was
Commodore de Guadalajara.
No, this one wasn't it. It
I gotta
was
write that
Commodore is the goat, bro.
It's
Really?
off 16th Street, just once you get over the bridge. But dude, Yelp. I mean, not that that's like the gold standard, but I'm just saying, like for a place in South Phoenix, it was Yelp's best restaurant in the country, or like one of their like best top restaurants in the country, and it was.
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, Jamie. We need a young Jamie. Hold up, I'll get it. Hold up.
Damn, you got intel back there too. You got like research ready to go. That's
Oh,
fire.
come on, man. This is
That's
within
fire.
range. You're on the
That's
Within Range
fire,
podcast,
bro.
Maze.
Well,
Come
that
on,
one I
man.
just knew. Dude.
I
I've eaten
like
there a few
that.
times. I'm embarrassed. I don't remember the last name. Hold on.
That was Vicina's fire too. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry, we'll be plugging all the local spots, man.
I was a Los Dos Molinos guy until I went here too. But,
Yeah, Los Dos is fire. Los Dos
There's-
is classic.
I still fuck with Philly Bees on the regular. I don't know.
Yeah,
how.
we can't do that. No
Yeah,
more.
no. Is that
If I'm gonna do that, salsitas, bro. That's
Okay,
like,
okay.
And I'm going to the one on 16th and Roosevelt. Like I'm going to.
what about Pete's Fish
That
and Chips,
Betos,
dude?
dude. That
Yeah, it's
Betos.
classic.
Taco
Pete.
Boys over there is fire.
Yeah,
Been there?
Jerry, we
Taco
had that
Boys is
Taco Boys
crazy
off the I-17
17 right there.
That was good.
Nah, I never been to Taco Boys. Crujente's fire. 40. It's bougie. That's like. I'm on my bougie shit now, bro. Like, I mean, dude, if I'm gonna do a street taco, bro, I do that at the crib, bro. I grew up around Mexicans. I fucking cook it at my house, bro. I'm just saying it's not like, that's not the craziest shit to me. And be honest with you, like, I'll be the first one to tell you, even though I got all the AZ love in the world, best Mexican food I ever had was in East LA. I don't give a fuck what
Damn.
anybody tell me, man. Yeah, it's hard. I hate to break
Yeah,
that
that's
to
probably that could probably be a debatable topic, but
I'm sure it is because everybody at AZ going to debate it. But once again, like if you just talking a taco, most every Mexican in the fucking city, they can go home and eat a taco.
Yeah.
Their mom can cook that shit, a pozole or a fucking street taco. Come on, man. Like that's just light work. Like you can't like unless you're gonna make it elevated and put like a Michelin spin on it.
Right.
It's just fucking carne asada, a fucking tortilla, some onions, some cilantro, and some lime.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like it's not, get the guacamole on the side, get a little tomatillo, get a little sauce or whatever the fuck. Like, you want to throw some pico on there. Like, dude, it's not like this isn't.
Splitting
It's like
hairs at that
Italian food,
point.
right? You make a sauce, you make some noodles, boom, throw some basil on top. Like as long as the sauce is good, you in there, But and my geography low key is terrible, but just the fact that we're on a grid makes it a lot easier
Yeah,
for
it
me.
does.
You know what I mean?
Does.
But
We need the Mazy overlay, dude.
I yeah,
AZ map.
yeah, I like that. I like that. You like I was in the name too. I like that. I had one the other day. I said Maisie way too active. You heard?
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. You should be the person that does like the official where they do all the districts and all the counties and like what part is what. You should be the person that actually draws all the mappings out of all that.
I like that. I like that. And shout out to my album too, The Grid, because I feel like that's what the cover looked like. The cover looked like some fucking
Yeah, that'll be fire.
some Arizona navigation, you know. But I would love to do like a verbal walkthrough. You know what I mean? Of like here we have over here, you know, in their native element.
Man, yeah, like
The
you
North
get
Phoenician.
a drone, and it's just you narrating drone footage with like graphics on the screen. Yeah,
That'd be
like,
fire.
From here to here, yeah.
That'd be fire.
Yeah, that should be your
Be
lyric
fire.
videos if you ever do any. Is just like drones of different parts of Arizona and just with your music playing in the background.
Love that. Love that. A little self embellishment with some navigation included.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
You guys ready to get into the music? Drew, you ready?
Yeah, actually,
bathroom
before
break,
we
we're
even
good?
jump into the music, it's something that's kind of more like an overview. I have to give you kudos on every one of your album covers.
Thank you.
There's so many.
Appreciate
Not
that.
only there's a vast catalog, but one of the things that really caught my attention was just like every album cover was very highly detailed. There's a lot of great artwork. To me, it almost seems like you really lived that life of like when physical copies was still like it's still a popular thing in very like certain genres of music or even like certain cultures or certain demographics. But one of the things
Right.
I really appreciate is like every one of those could have been a vinyl cover and easily just be hung up on a wall or like in a collection of things. So that'd be cool if hopefully one day you'll be able to like have every one of those on vinyl.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got shit out of the 17, we got 12 of them on vinyl, which is
That's
dope.
dope.
So, you know, we're very proud of that. And honestly, like, I'm blessed to be able to work with some great artists. Some of them from Arizona, some of them painters, some of them digital artists. But, you know, I'm a firm believer. Like, I grew up in the era where, you know, the artwork, like, it was so, like, burned in your brain because of the music. Like, we all think Liquid Swords, and we remember the two dudes with
chopping,
the chessboard
yep.
and shit. Like, it's,
Yep.
you know, AT Aliens is also,
Dude,
like,
AZ Aliens, I was gonna say that was one of the
Yeah.
songs I was gonna hit on. I mean, one of
Yeah.
the best names I've seen come out of the city. Just
obviously
it's
Andre
incredible.
had a big
Yeah,
impact
yeah.
on me, and
You fucking with the
Three
flute?
stacks. Three
yeah,
stacks.
definitely. I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't care about the flute album, man. It's cool.
No,
Like,
yeah, I think it's cool too. I think it's just hilarious that people had such a strong reaction to it.
I wouldn't have any reaction to it. I don't matter to me. I'll still listen to AT Aliens or Aquemini, like,
Yeah.
you know, but what Andre did, I think for hip hop and, you know, as an artist is just, you know, unmatched. And I don't think we give him enough credit, you know what I
I
mean?
don't think he does. Yeah.
You know, everybody's just, and we could all bitch about him not having a solo album. You know, it's cool. But I mean, technically, even though The Love Below is kind of like that, because that's kind of how they designed it, right?
Right.
Which is one of the highest selling albums of all time in hip hop. You know, I just think like stylistically, and like that's someone that never broke with his authenticity, you know, and that's something that I try to do, you know, because I'm a pretty versatile creature. You know, I've been through a lot of different things, but I still like, you know, like I embrace the love and the fear. I embrace the chaos and the order. You know, I embrace the light and the dark. So like, you know, there's very dark sides of me and there's very positive, prolific sides of me. You know, I'm grateful to be where I'm at, and you know, someone like Andre definitely added a lot to that, and then that influenced the artwork a lot because I really wanted the artwork to have just as much emphasis in the artwork as the music, and I wanted them to match. You know, so it's all about contracting the right artist for the right project and executing your vision. You know, I every now and then I've missed where I had someone do something, I'm just like, this isn't it, you know, and you know, but most of the time I'm like, I try to find the right person for the right job, and I think we've done a really good job. My manager plays a part in that as well, but you know, he trusts my vision, and you know, I've always trusted my vision too, to say, hey, look, here's what it sounds like. How do I find some artwork that's really gonna match the music, you know? But I appreciate that, dog.
Yeah, no problem. Also, too, part two, I respect those was you always, I think, bring the three main things when it comes to a hip hop album, which is a great cover, which to me correlates to a great theme or a concept. Number two is building the world around that theme and concept within the musical landscape of it. But then three is you incorporate skits in intros and things like that still.
Yeah, man, that was like the formula. You know,
It's a lost art.
one of the only things that I think I've been really wanting more of lately is more singers and more harmony and more, because when I listen to AT Aliens or even like, you know, even Wu Tang, like they had Takita, you know what I mean? They got a dope singer, and I'm trying to incorporate more singers. But yeah, like you listen to Big Pun album, and the skits are crazy,
love
right?
Big
You listen
Pun.
to Wu Tang album, skits are crazy, right? And I love that, man. You paying attention, man. I appreciate that. That's dope. Thank you, bro.
Man.
I feel like there's different types of listeners. There's people that are like casual. Like sometimes I meet people, I'm like, oh, what kind of music do you listen to? And they're like, I don't really know. Just like whatever.
That's wild
It's
to me.
crazy.
Dude, absolutely.
Listen,
People
the
be like,
fact
I'm not
is-
really into music.
Yeah,
I'm like, what
you
the
could tell me
fuck?
It's
some
the craziest
pretty.
thing.
Like, do you eat white bread every day?
I was gonna say, like, you could tell me some pretty extreme
That shit
religious,
crazy.
political, romantic relationship beliefs, and I would be less shocked by that statement.
Yeah, like offend me.
Yeah.
But you telling me like, I'm just not really into music.
I just
I'm
don't.
like,
I don't really know what I listen to. It's just whatever's on the radio. It's like, well, what radio station do you listen to? It's like
oh, whatever's
How
on.
deep does this go? But no. But then there's fans that, like, I feel like I would hope we qualify as that at times at least. But it's like when I want to be like a dedicated fan. I want to know who I'm listening to. I want to know that person's story. And for me as a listener, when I see things like your album art, it's like whether or not I even know if there's a reference to something in there, what it means. Like when I just see things like that, it's just indicative of effort. And like Drew said, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, there's probably some sort of like cohesive thought or theme here. And like it means a lot when you see that. And then you come out with visuals for everything. Like for people that want to engage with you, like you make that much easier and more enjoyable. to do it, too.
100%. Yeah, I've always kind of tried to maintain a level of humility. I think I was real cocky in my early years. You know, I thought I was God's gift. You know what I mean? We were like, oh man, no one's fucking with us. That shit was like short lived, man. Psychedelics help break that ego for sure.
Sure. That'll do that.
Some good mushroom trips.
That plus
you know?
life, that'll humble you up real quick,
100%.
dude.
100%. I've
nice
had some
one, too.
life.
It's
I've
a
had
nice-
some life. Shout out to life. You motherfucker, you. But nah, man, like that's the beauty of it is and that's what's dope, man, because like for the people that always maintain this super egocentric model in their music, I'm just like, you've either never been broken as a human being, or you're living in a fucking fantasy and you're just faking it for everybody. And to me, that type of music is so superficial and short-lived and fucking garbage. Like, and that's just my perspective. You know, like, you could be a one-hit wonder. And by all means, you played your part. You still gave something.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You still did something for the culture, the music, whatever the fuck. But, you know, I'm just trying to make timeless shit. You know, we were talking earlier, like, me and Docs, and I like reality rap because it's the shit that speaks to my soul, right? I don't mind doing conceptual shit, obviously. You know, I don't mind kind of veering off and being a little more superficial where I can pick a topic and kind of like let people wrap their heads around it, you know, and then still incorporate real life within that concept, right? It's interesting because it almost is like giving yourself a challenge, you know, whereas if I look at my favorite artists, they were just making albums about their life. They were just talking about like Nas, Kendrick, like these weren't necessarily conceptual albums, right? Like how do you take Illmatic or It Was Written or Stillmatic or Godson and making a conceptual album? You could play off that title a little bit, but I think it was really just a title to represent where what they had just went through. You know what I mean?
It's authentic. It's about their life, and that's why it sounds cohesive.
100%.
Like there was something. It's
Lauryn
just-
Hill
that's what it
refused to
is.
make music because she was like, dude, I just came from the stage to the studio to stay. I need life in between. Dave Chappelle didn't want to continue making seasons because he was like, I'm not going to force myself to create content, like comedy based on like what I haven't been through. Like I'm not going to force it. Like I have to go through things to be able to make music about it. I just happen to had lived a lot of life. And while I was going through all that shit, while I was being humbled, while I was learning lessons, while I was, you know, raising my kids or, you know, going through my foodie shit. Like I wasn't always like, oh, I'm gonna go do this and then I'm gonna go back and make a song about it. So like I got to a point in life where I was like, I'm gonna make a bunch of music about all this shit that I just went through in the past 15 years. You know what I mean? And that's where you get this influx of like, people like, oh, you dropping all this. I lived all this life. I finally had a chance where I could like, and it took sacrifice. I sacrificed time with my children, time at work, making money, to just sit in that studio and tell my story. And make that art, because for multiple reasons, but a lot of it was mainly for me. I needed to do it for me. It was more of an outlet to like for me to process the world and all the fucked up shit that was going on. The good and the bad. But there was a lot of shit. Like the world isn't a perfect place. And I had to process that in my own way. And that comes with a lot, man. Like it comes with anxiety, depression, being scared, like questioning shit, self-doubt, like all this shit. There was like every range of human emotion, and I was like, I gotta do this for me. I'm just gonna make this shit. You know what I mean? And then there was like this level of like, oh shit, there's these other rappers. Like, I'm gonna try to get good. I'm gonna try. I really want
Competitive at heart.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Like
important as an artist. I think.
I think that's hip hop too.
Yeah,
like because
specifically
and
for
the
that.
ego isn't
Yeah.
always a bad thing. It drives you to be better and better and better and find better ways to express yourself. It's still the same outlet that I used when I first was like, hey, I'm gonna just put my thoughts and feelings on the paper. But then it became like, I want to get really good at doing this. And that way, the better you are at it, the more people are like, oh shit, like I can't do it like that. But my greatest goal would be to inspire someone to work at that and be able to find an outlet that is going to work for them and be able to express themselves like that. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of in my later years, but I humbled myself so many times where I'm never going to be that guy that's like, oh, I'm the guy. I'm grateful for all the people that are like, you're the guy, like you're one of the dopest, or you really inspired me, or you did this, like that's dope.
Means more when you get it that way.
100%, man. 100%. That's why I always try to make music that was real life, that resonated with people,
Dude, I think that's a great segue for this song here, dude. You want to talk about real life and resonating with people? I was blown away by this song and this bar, dude. But Tesla versus Edison, crazy just topic in general. I spark currents like Tesla while they dim like Edison's light. I'm assuming that's all about Tesla versus Edison, AC versus DC, how Tesla got absolutely screwed. Is that what you're like? Is that in reference? Are you like a history buff in there? Or
Yeah, no. I mean, we obviously SDNAC too. He's no slouch too. Like he knows a lot. He knows the science, and our groups go way back. Vendetta Kings and Tragic Allies. We go 20 years back. I've known him for a long time. Pardon me. And when we linked up on that, it was like, hey, he named it. He was like, you should call it Tesla versus Edison. And then he told me, he's like, just go in and body me on that shit. Like, just go kill that shit. I was like, all right, cool, fuck it. And, I felt like, Tesla's always going to be the GOAT. Just like everything that he did, late 1800s.
He was right the whole time. The whole thing was AC
100%.
versus DC. He was right the whole time. It's what we use today.
And look,
he got
we
screwed.
could
got absolutely fucked.
We could still give Edison his flowers and be like, yo, dude was obviously smart, more of a businessman. But when we look at, who was kind of like the originator for a lot of that technology, Nikola Tesla, he died lonely in a hotel room somewhere. You know what I mean? Like he never really got the flower, but what he did, like his value, never came in his lifetime. Think about that. It's like take someone like Pac. Like what if Pac never got acknowledged, until he died, and then it's like afterwards you're like, oh shit, we just missed the greatest thing to happen to rap, to being a poet, to music, right? Nikola Tesla was that. Yep. Like he never saw his flowers like in his lifetime. But yeah, like the whole idea of like, and of course we're doing a play on words there, a little alliteration, right? Where it's like, looking at Edison kind of sparking it, right? He had the spark, and then, Tesla sparking it, and then Edison kind of put on the business hat and was more of the capitalist behind it, and he got all the money and fame from it. And that's why we say Con Edison, not Con Tesla, right? Like, in all reality, like Tesla was the OG. Tesla was the one who was the brainchild and the kind of the godfather in that whole field, from wireless technology to, just everything that he was about, man. Like there's so much. Jay Electronica gives him a lot of flowers too.
Okay, I didn't know that. I was gonna say honestly, there's plenty of Tesla references in rap, but just none of them being Nikola.
Right. We have a lot of
Yeah.
Elon references
A lot of
now.
Elon ones, but yeah.
And who you think he named that fucking thing after?
Exactly. Do you feel like that's almost a metaphor for what you see in the music industry too? Like that kind of dynamic playing out right there, where it's just like someone has the great idea or they have this thing, and then someone has the ability to bottle it, commercialize it, and do this, and that kind of wins out. Do you feel like?
I could see that in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think that we have these things like you have multiples or multiplicity where like how many people discovered America, right? That you could probably think of 3 or 4 names right now. And a lot of us have ideas. It is your responsibility when you have that idea to put it into action and then potentially like make it a commodity and monetize it. Like, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people like you could probably take every style or subgenre of hip hop and say, here was the originator.
So and so did that.
And
yeah.
is the originator the most popular one? Probably not.
One of my favorite sayings, and funny enough, I saw it on a bathroom inside of a bathroom stall in an ASU classroom building. Stuck with me
Fire.
my whole life. It says, "Innovation is praised, execution is worshipped."
Boom.
Stuck with me my whole life. Some
Fire.
kid taking a deuce before class at ASU put that on there. Stuck with me
Changing lives,
15
taking a
years
shit.
later. But truly, like, yeah, the idea is really cool, but getting out there and doing it, that's what makes you.
I mean, that's part of the process, though, man. You can't sleep on the action. You know,
Sure.
I mean, like and I think that like I'm guilty of that too. You know, as an artist, I think like I'm like, all right, look, it's enough that I just make art. Nowadays, you actually have to put it out there. You have to go hard behind it. There's a lot of me that's like, or like, luckily I have some people in my corner that are like, hey, you can't just be that dope. You actually have to fucking try too. And it's not that like we don't want to put the effort out. It's just that it takes so much already to put your heart and soul into the music and create these album covers, create these projects that like part of me just wants to put it out there and say like, all right, now it's on y'all. But in the era that we're in, this isn't 1995. Like you really have to be able to match that with your action. And that action looks different. Like in 95, it was put it in your fucking trunk and sell it out that motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like, how many content reels can you create, right? Like,
right.
It depends on the time you're in. But it's no one that ever won, so to speak, and made it was against the times. If you go against where everything's going, like you're just making it harder for yourself. Like at that point, you're looking for an excuse to lose, right? You're looking for a reason why you're not making it. Like, action is part. Like I'm reading the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, right? A lot of millionaires have read this book, right? So what's one of the biggest part of the process? Fucking action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to have that burning desire. You got to have that faith. But then when opportunities come to your way, it's like that story about like, someone praying for the boat. They in the middle of the ocean. They praying for the boat.
I sent 3 boats.
I sent 3 boats to your bitch ass. You were just like, no, God's going to save. What you waiting
God will
for? A
save
Jewish
me.
guy on a surfboard, bro? He sent you 3 fucking yachts, like right past you. Boom. You got to be able to take the opportunity, and taking action is like a lot of people like, I was listening to Earl Sweatshirt. I think he was talking with his mother the other day. I was looking at a little clip and he was talking about apathy and just being lethargic, and that's a byproduct of depression and just trying to make sense of the world, But a lot of artists can fall into that. Like I've always been very prolific, like in the sense where I make I create a lot. But there's times where I'm just like I'll be working on 6 things at one time, and I'll just be like, this is too much for me, like I just shut down, and I'll take months off where like I don't even fucking touch a pen for months, where I'm just like I can't do anything. I gotta process life, and that's just part of the process, Like I think for everybody it happens at different stages, Like there's not like this one size fits all to everything, but I think that action is a huge part of this process. No matter what business you're in, you got to do it. You want to get right physically, go to the fucking gym or do some fucking push-ups. Just do it. You can't just think about it and be like, oh, I really should be doing this. Well, then fucking do it. You got to really get after it, or else where's your legacy going to be? That's how people are going to think of your legacy. They're going to be like, well, maybe if this person would have really went hard, they'd have made way more of an impact, right? Like some of my favorite artists when I was growing up, like they never got to know major stature. And so, like, I learned recently to not think about like the reward or the destination. Don't think about what's gonna happen. Just focus on being better every day and just do it. And then if you just focus on that, it's gonna happen. The money is a byproduct. The success is a byproduct of hard work, of focus, being in the moment. You know, without gratitude and actually like appreciating what we have right now, you're gonna always, because then you're gonna get a bunch of money and you're gonna look back and be like, fuck, I was happier when I didn't have no money. And those were the golden days. Yeah. And if you're always in the moment, you're never gonna miss it. It's never gonna pass you by, you know? So it's a balance, man, and it's tough, especially as an artist. We're always looking to be like, damn, well, when am I gonna get the credit? When am I gonna perform at Coachella? When am I gonna be in front of millions, thousands of people? When am I gonna have 1 million streams a month? You know, get my little $4,000, you know?
A little $4,000.
Hey, I'll take it though. Like
Happily.
I'm saying, like, you know, I could pay bills off of streams, even currently. And I'm like, that's beautiful. It may not be every bill I have,
Yeah.
but I'm still grateful as fuck for it, man. You know, if I had 200 fans, I could make $100,000 a year. You know, so when you really break it down, it's not about the music, man. It's about the outlet. It's about, like, you know, not letting opportunities pass you by. You know, like a lot of people, they think they're ready for the spotlight until it comes. And then they're like, are you ready to take action? And they're like, oh shit, I'm really not. You know, and I've been there where I was like, I thought I was ready and I wasn't. You know, I had work to do. Now I'm ultimately confident in my music because I got so much better at it because I didn't stop. You know, I try to get better every single day. Every record I make, every song I make, I try to get better and better and better.
Well, speaking of tracks, one that stood out to me that I just found was a favorite, but Trepacante off of Afghani Gold. I mean, the beat was sick, and you have like similar themes, I feel like, in your production throughout like a lot of the projects I listen to. Mm-hmm. But your lyrics on that one, and yeah, I just like, of all the songs I'd listened to that I'd come across, that one stood out.
That's fire.
Yeah, great track.
Yeah, it was a dope track, man. Trapacante is dope. We filmed that in Queensbridge.
Filmed a couple out there, it looked like.
Yeah, you're out there.
In New York. Yeah.
Queens had a big impact on me, man. I went to Queensbridge when I was young, and it had a big impact on my life. So that was like in the projects, like where, you know, Killer Shah and Traj and Nas is from, and Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So like that was big for me, and that record was dope. Sadu Gold, being just who he is, and we were able to come together, make some dope shit, and ended up putting that Rock Marciano track on there.
Yeah. Reggie Miller was another good one off Afghani Gold. Mm-hmm. I'm a basketball guy, so those references they always hit home.
And that was honestly kind of an entendre, right? Because the album being Afghani Gold, Reggie Miller was kind of a slang term for like commercial weed.
That's right.
Oh,
Smoking
oh,
Reggie
yeah,
Miller.
smoking
Yeah,
Reggie
Reggie
Miller,
Miller.
right? So, like,
Yeah.
And he was also a dirty player. You know what I mean?
he
We also
was.
used to call it dirt weed. You know, so you can see all the correlations. You know what I mean? Like,
Crazy.
and then I brought Bub and A-Sun in on that one, and we actually went out to New York and shot that. Right after the supply and demand event that Top Shelf Premium puts on. Shout out to Mark. He a good dude, big part of the culture.
Was that when you Brildo, the short film, right? You did that too out there?
That was years later.
Oh, that was later.
Yeah, that
than
was probably
Okay.
like 2 years after that.
Wow.
But I go out to New York a lot. Same videographer. Shout out to
dope-
G Media.
Dope footage.
Yeah, G Media is he a cool ass dude, man. He's super talented. Shot a lot of videos for me.
All right, there's just a bar. I know Jared's got the bar, so let me just do mine, and then I'm just gonna let you run with it.
Come
on. Late departure off the grid. Bunch of illegitimate kids with no idea how to run a legit biz. Probably still at the crib, rocking cigs, giving McDonald's to your kids, copping kicks.
Yeah,
dude, that was just.
You like that?
There was some
You
crazy
like that.
bars on that one.
Yeah. I love to
Spitta.
I love to wake people up in sometimes a disrespectful way, you know. But, you know, of course, like, every artist is going to get pushback, right? We're all going to get people that are, like, feel a certain way. And, you know, I'm not going to be the one to sit around talking about I got ops. I don't got ops, bro. I probably got some people that just don't. I'm not their cup of tea, you know. I'm the type of person that's, you know, I'd rather throw my hands than throw bullets, you know what I mean? So if someone feels a certain way, call me out, man. We can even being where I'm at in life, even with kids, like We could bring it back to the high school days. And we can fucking duke it out real quick. It's all because I'm confident in mine. You know what I mean? If that's what it takes, that's what it takes sometimes. But, you know, there's a lot of people I look at like, you know, I'm on this connoisseur shit for real. Like, I elevated, man. I came from eating fucking Los Betos and McDonald's.
Hey,
and
you said ketchup and rice in a song, dude.
Facts, bro.
Ketchup and rice. And
That's
I
'cause-
thought about that one hit me. I've eaten some rough meals. I've been poor. And ketchup and rice hasn't crossed my palate. That's a crazy
yeah, bro.
meal, dude.
That was some New York shit. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was fucking with these
Ketchup
Puerto
and
Ricans,
rice
man,
is
and
wild,
yeah, bro. That shit was just like, bro, if you gotta survive, bro, like if you, at least you got sauce on something,
I was
right?
gonna say, wait, Puerto Ricans were putting ketchup on the rice,
Bro,
Not
it-
even.
It was just happened to
That's
be
what you
one of
had.
the Puerto
Yeah,
Ricans
that's
I
what
was
you got.
around. That's what he had. That was in the fridge. It was just like they had the rice cooker. Boom. Poured out the fucking ketchup. I was like, fuck, bro. You got, I mean, it's either that or you eating rice plain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember ketchup with the rice. Now they got a ketchup with
There
the price.
we go.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Yes.
You know, but like, you know, I came from that where it was like, you know, Colt 45, Old English, Steel Reserve, Mickey's. And, you know, I eventually got to Belgians and, you know, craft beers and Sancerres and ridiculous, you know, libations and shit. Now I'm a big,
Libations.
I'm a big kombucha guy. You know, I'm trying to get a kombucha sponsorship at some point too. You know, all about that gut health. I want a fucking Modelo sponsorship too, bro. That's my
A
guilt.
probiotic Modelo would go
That'd be crazy, bro.
That would
A
be
Modelo
crazy,
kombucha, bro. Modelo, hit me up, bro. Come on, we put some
Modelo.
enzymes in that bitch, bro. We make the lime, whatever, lime coconut Modelo probiotic shit. That's fire right there. But to me, it was all about elevation, man. It was all about growth, you know. So like, you know, part of my brand was like, you know, going back to that line, like a lot of people when they go to flex and they want to like, you know, like it's an ego check to a lot of to a big extent because it's like you sitting over there flexing, like, bro, you probably still smoking cigarettes inside, like, you the fuck is
That's
wrong
what that
with
bar
you?
was. I know exactly what you. I grew
It's
up in the
disrespectful as fuck,
I
right?
grew up in the Midwest, dude, and Drew can attest, man.
I feel
There's a lot
offended
of
if
that.
I'm inside and you smoke. If you
oh,
lit up
dude,
a
I'm
cigarette
very-
right now, I'd be like,
So when I go back to Indiana and I go out to bars, bro, you can still smoke cigarettes
You
in
can
bars.
still
smoke
cigarettes,
and it's
yeah.
just like, dude,
On
it
that Don
trips.
Drape.
It trips me out when I go back home because I'm like,
yeah, I was in Tallahassee, Florida for a few years, and there's bars out there they smoke inside,
just yeah,
like dead ass, and I'm just like,
nicotine, just.
I'm like, all right, you know, and I'm not like,
Cigs inside, it's a movement. dude.
whatever your vice is, I'm cool. Like, you want to smoke? I smoke cigars, right? But like, I ain't gonna hotbox it in the whip.
Dude, I remember.
You know what I mean?
I
Like-
used to go to Nevada all the time with my dad back in like early 2000s, late 90s, and we'd sit down in restaurants and they're like smoking or non-smoking, dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
Right,
used to
I
have a
remember that shit
section.
too.
like, could you imagine there's even a section as if it kept anything away?
As if the
Dude,
non-smoking
as if-
wasn't
yeah.
fully
I
just
think
like,
the craziest thing is
you know, they was over there mad as fuck the whole time, like,
exactly.
smell like
Smoke
cigarettes in
cigarettes.
here.
Yeah,
on
where
planes,
was that
though.
border wall and what did that look like? Yeah, someone
No
smoking-
vents inside.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, if
Smoking
you,
cowboy
they
colors
probably did it
next
at the
to you.
hospital. Like, oh, this is the non-smoking part of the waiting room, right?
Yeah, doctor's like, yeah, you got fucking cancer, dude. That shit's not good. It's not good.
But nah, man, it was like ego shit. Whereas like a lot of these guys flex, and I'm just like, bro, like you don't even know what the fuck a LLC is. You don't know what publishing is. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm on the top of my game on everything. Could I be better in certain ways? Absolutely. We're all trying to make it in the music business. But I'll be damned if these fucking goofy ass underground kids are gonna flex on me. Like, oh, I'm doing like, bro, you probably still fucking eat fucking dog shit food. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah, facts.
Don't know what to tell you, bro. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's a good segue for another one that I had to talk about. Unusual suspects. So you're talking about ego, you're talking about real. This is, I assume you being introspective here, but it says, line up of legends in my mind's eye, each verse a suspect in the case of why I rhyme.
Holy shit. Say that one again. I don't even remember that.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, dude. It was line up of legends in my mind's eye. Okay, so you're thinking about all the rappers before you, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. You said each verse a suspect in the case of why I rhyme. So I'm picturing you rapping and you're saying every single bar I spit, you're picturing like a lineup of your heroes watching them, and it's like it's on trial as if you should even be doing this. Is that crazy? Did I
Damn.
take too much?
Dog,
of
I'm
that?
not gonna lie.
That's a- that's a-
I'd have to
that's
hear
a
this
good
one in
one.
context. That's crazy. Like, yo, Drew, if you could play that, or Jamie, whoever Jamie is,
Yeah,
yo, if I
Drew.
could get
Drew's
a playback.
Drew's.
Oh, Drew is Jamie. Okay, my fault.
I
my
hope
fault.
I
No,
got
no,
it
you're
right.
good.
I mean,
Intel,
I'm listening,
intel.
So I hope
No,
I got it right.
and
on
that's why I
Unusual
want to. I
Suspects.
want to make
It's
sure,
off
like,
Thief.
if I get this in Oh, Unusual Suspects.
Unusual Suspects. Yes, I'm sorry. Unusual Suspects.
Because I did a joint called Kaiser Sose too.
That's
and
about
that,
the
Okay,
movie.
no.
It's about
yeah,
the
that's
movie.
that's what I was playing off Usual Suspects,
Yeah.
but
Great
Unusual
movie. Great
Suspect.
movie.
You're talking about the joint
Yeah.
off Thief that
Yeah,
War Season
yeah.
produced. And it's like, all right, say it again. Say it again. I'm sorry. Come on.
Lineup of legends in my mind's eye, each verse a suspect and why I rhyme.
Yeah, I
Back
mean,
here.
Next
So-
one.
Fire line.
so
Yeah,
I'm
next
thinking,
bar, next
I'm
bar.
thinking, I'm thinking. I really
That's
was like,
dude. I think your analogy on it that makes
That's
sense.
just I
Yeah.
heard
That
that and I
makes
was like,
sense.
that's
We'll
fucking
stick with
crazy
that one.
to think about, dude. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm just
I can't believe you got me with my own bar, bro.
Yeah.
dude.
Hit him again, Jerry.
I
He's
hope
got-
it's right.
He's got
dude. Someone
more.
fact
But you know
check
what's
it.
Hit him again.
fire though is that like what I'm trying to do in the beginning is you see the Usual Suspects movie cover, right? Where it's like a lineup, right? Where you got all the usual
Benicio
del
suspects,
Toro's
all
in
the
there.
characters, right? Yeah,
The
yeah.
Baldwin brothers.
Come
in
on,
there.
man, that movie is fucking
Great movie.
That's top 5 for me. And I think like saying like the top people, like the people that inspire me were like kind of the Unusual Suspects, right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then thinking like I'm still skeptical of their shit too, right? Like every verse is really like I'm analyzing. Like I've caught my favorite artists
interesting.
still being like I still question their shit too.
Oh, so it was the other
And
way.
then get
I had
into,
it.
and
I
then
had
get
the
into,
lens
but like
flipped the
I
other
want to
way.
hear it. I
like
want to
that.
hear it in context so I can
Okay,
just
we'll do
confirm this.
that.
Hit him with another one in the meantime, Jared.
Come on,
Glass Strong Carlson,
boats.
dude. I was gonna say this is Glass Boats, right?
It's one of the illest boats. The Glastron is one of the illest like racing speedboats there is.
Where does the taste of luxury come for you guys? I know the connoisseur thing. I mean, you're on your Action Bronson shit because you're talking Pininfarina, you're talking 84 Testarosas. Okay,
That's Miami Vice shit.
you're
isn't
poo pooing Parmigiano Reggiano because that's just the run of the mill. I
Right.
mean, I love it. It is though. Mario Batali used it every episode. That's the only reason I even know about it. But
Yeah, bless his heart.
bless his
Massimo
sexual assaulting heart,
Massimo
dude.
Bottura used some Parmesan too. You know what in the illest way.
Morimoto, you say?
No, Morimoto was
Japanese. Yeah. Oh, who
he the
was that
doctor. He the dude that put the intention into water.
Oh, I don't know that. Wait, what's that?
Or that, am I thinking Dr. Emoto? I think it was Morimoto.
it? I don't even know.
Who you talking about?
I'm talking about Morimoto's Nobu. He was the original.
Oh, yeah,
Iron
Nobu
Chef.
Fire.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I just heard whatever.
Massimo Bottura is an Italian chef. He operates one of the best restaurants in the world. It's Osteria de Francescana.
You just remind me
in
too.
Modena.
French Laundry. You got French Laundry.
That's
You wanna
right.
Talk about Napa, dude.
Yeah, we talk about Thomas Keller all day, bro. That was a big one for me. Like I still make like when I make a vinaigrette, it's gonna be the Thomas Keller recipe all day.
Nice.
It's gonna have the egg in it and everything.
How do you feel about Gavin Newsom being there when there were COVID? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
That's a G response. Dude. Who the fuck else? The reservation was free, dude. It's the French Laundry. I'm sorry.
Bro, I wish I could go back in time. I'd have pulled up shit.
Yeah, not one I've crossed off the list.
But yeah, that was a deep ass line. That one, I'd have to really like. I'm gonna go back and then
Jared
we'll
got
have
him.
to. Yeah,
Got him with that
got me, bro. There's
Put a
like
pin
that
in it right
fucking
there, dude.
that track was like, dog. Those are like 232s, right? That was like one of the last tracks I did on the album, and like I was like, bro, you're like my boy, like the producer on that, right? Like he names all the songs. That's his project, really. I'm just filling in the gaps. Most of my War Season's different. Shooters Galleria, Nightline, and Thief. I didn't name any song. I didn't produce any part of that. Like I'm usually the arranger, the song. Like I'm creating the titles, everything.
Yeah.
He was behind that. So like,
Wow.
it was just there's a lot of intricacies in there. You know what I mean? And honestly, like I'll be the first one to tell you because of how much shit I have. I push myself to make so much music, and a lot
Did I
of
see
like,
9 projects in 2024?
yeah.
That's a lot, dude.
Bro, and so like
That's a lot.
when I go to perform, I'm like, what the fuck do I perform?
I mean, what
bro?
nine projects in 12 months? I mean, dude.
Bro, I don't know if I sent that many emails.
That's a
in the
project
work year.
every
Yeah,
month
like,
and a half, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty
crazy.
much. Yeah. No, it's you know, my manager pushes me. I
Who's your?
push
Is
myself.
that I think we follow him.
Coach to God.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No wonder you and Deli are linking up.
Yeah, I
Dude, you
mean,
guys got
he a
Mr.
workhorse too. Yeah,
365,
he
dude.
made that's right.
Mr.
He made his
365.
name off of that shit.
Yep.
And you know, I mean, for me, like, I couldn't imagine if all my favorite rappers had 9 albums in a year, right? Like
Crazy.
to this day, I want more. I want more.
DMX did 2 in a year, and people were like,
Right.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
Like if
unheard of.
anybody that was major like that did multiple albums and be like, oh holy shit, this is Christmas in July, right?
I think they said Future's run from like 20.
Yeah, Future.
From like 2013 to like 2018, 19 was like, yeah. he
You
did
ready,
a bunch of
Doc?
crazy-
You ready? Future, go. Bro, it's a little different if you have if you're like realistically like we're not gonna put Future on the same platform or same place as Andre, okay?
Yeah,
So, like,
no, of course.
like-
Lyrically, no.
I mean, it's just a totally different type of music.
Yeah,
like,
of course it is.
like
it's
if
it's
you-
different hip hop. It's hip hop, but it's different hip hop.
sure,
That's what I would say.
sure. Sexy Red's hip hop too, right?
Future's like borderline R&B.
Like I ain't mad at it. I'm
Yeah.
not mad at it. Like to me, like I just think when you put a lot of substance into your music, like Future has said some things that I fuck with. He's also ruined some of my favorite songs. King's Dead. Like,
Oh, can't agree with that take. Can't agree with the
How?
la-di-da-di-da. That was sick.
Oh, that made
He
it for
killed
you?
Yeah, he killed that. I thought.
Oh, my
I thought that
God.
was unique. I thought it was cool.
Bro, you went from like poached eggs to scrambled
No,
eggs.
but see, but
I can't
no,
even.
That's right. That's right. Kendrick made that
I was like, bro,
song better.
how?
No, but hold on. But this is like
Kendrick what?
This is a
Kendrick
classic debate.
made
It's
that
like it's
song
just
better.
a different sound.
Yeah,
that he went
100%.
on that.
To me, like I don't feel like Future made that song better. Like
I get that.
I mean, like he's got some dope songs. That to me was just like not it, you know. Like, and that's a hot take, right? I may be canceling myself right now. I hope the Future
If
would
someone
come to me
cancels
and
you
be
over
like,
Future, dear God.
dead ass. I hope the Future would even come to me and be like, you know what, man, like. I appreciate that you didn't like that one verse. You know, there's other tracks I like. I listened to his interview. I listened to him talk about love one time, and I was like, this is a smart dude. Like, he been through it, right?
Valentine's Day, the worst day, dude.
I fuck with it. But at the same time, when I heard King's Dead, in the middle of that verse, I was just like, why is my toddler on this record right now? Like, I just didn't understand it. Like, that to me did not add value to the record. Like, J-Rock shit was so tough. Kendrick shit was so tough. And to me, like, if you're making music on, you know, like, my shit could always be better. You know, I think my production, I think that the engineering, like, I'm trying to add more elements to my music to make it better, bro. Like, I'm not, like, no one's God's gift to rap or artistry or music, man. We all have things to learn. And sometimes a lot of that shit is for shock value, man. You know, maybe, like, he thought, like, you know what? Having these two ridiculous rappers on either side of me and I'm going to come in with this, da-da-da-da. Like, okay, maybe that was just for the effect. But I feel like he was better than that. I'd rather hear just, like, traditional auto-tune. The fuck am I saying?
You'd rather hear about what he's doing in his Gucci flip-flops.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you'd rather
like,
hear about.
Just
yeah.
or like you're in a Wall Street shot in a video. Like, say something. Like, I don't know.
Looks like
bro.
Drew wants to say something right now. The mic's all close to him.
Oh,
No,
you a
no,
Future
I was,
fan?
I was,
He said,
I
call
like
it
some.
what you
I like
want.
some songs. So I fall in line with you like that shit. Kind of like I was like I can't. But to me, I feel like there's a genius of like knowing when to push boundaries just to piss people off, being polarizing. That's like there's a whole
Right.
genius in that. So that
Well, he got me.
I give respect to where
Mission
respect is due.
accomplished.
There he goes, dude.
Yeah.
Chalk it up.
Yeah, I feel like there's three types of people when it comes to hip hop. There's people that wear culture, almost like people that wear like jerseys and shit. Then the people who move culture. Those are like NBA players, right? Those are the people who are people at the
I
forefront.
like that, Drew.
And then
That was
there's
fire.
the people who like are ingrained in culture. That's like cemented, like you're legendary in the space, whether if you're the most popular or not. So like to me, those are like the ninth wonders. Those are the alchemists. Those are the people that have been in the game for years, may not have had the craziest amount of success, but they have these ebbs and flows. But there's a constant consistency that like the biggest rappers give them kudos, and then even the most underground rappers give those people like idolization. So
And they work with both too. Like,
Right.
if both the people you mentioned
right.
had tracks on Kendrick albums. Ninth Wonder had one. Alchemist, I think Alchemist had a couple, but and then they can go work with the most underground artists in the game too, which is dope. You know, like Alchemist worked with Billy Woods and who's the other dude in Arm & Hammer?
Elucid.
What is it? Elucid, yeah. Arm & Hammer, like they're like I would consider them more underground, but like I mean, but they in Rolling Stone and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, but everybody know Kendrick. You know, you may not know Arm & Hammer, but what's dope is Alchemist will work with both. You know, and they definitely. I guess that's what, you know, adds to them being about the culture and shit.
Facts.
You know, but I do agree with you. I think that sometimes like someone like a Future, you know, they can know when to push the boundaries. You know, I guess for me, I'm always just trying to make the best artwork possible. I would never want to approach something with just a shock value intention, or just like let me just push the boundaries for the sake of doing it, right? Like, I could wear some saucy shit, but like if I'm going to like a black tie event, maybe that's when I don't wear a wife beater and some Oakleys to try to like stand out. Maybe I just wear a really nice three-piece suit or something. You know what I mean? I think it's all about knowing your audience and having the right time and place. You know what I mean? But what's dope is every artist gets to express themselves at their own way, at their own time, at their own pace. You know what I mean? So like I'm not one to judge. I've made plenty of quote unquote mistakes or wrong decisions, and I've done a lot of shit that's right. So, you know, that gets to be your path. You know, whether you're fucking Immortal Technique or Future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're all unique in our own right. You know, I think that there's probably a certain part of me that's like, man, I don't want to look like a fool, you know, in front of like, you know, people that inspire me. Like, if I ever got on a Kendrick Lamar record, I think it's crazy that Future could get on there with something like that and like he's cool with that verse. I'm like, and I heard Kendrick was behind it too. Like, he was all supportive of it, and I'm like, that makes me question the whole fucking process. Because I'm like, if you put me on a Kendrick Lamar verse, I'm probably going to take a week and be like, oh, man, this is going to be the fucking most illest verse
But I think that's the good thing
write.
about hip-hop. You got your opinion, and like someone like Jared, that's like, Jared thought it helped it. You thought so, and that's what I think that's the beauty of hip-hop, because I feel like it's
Subjective as
it's
fuck,
it's
right?
subjective in its
It's very
perspective.
subjective,
you
and
know?
100%.
but you feel it as passionately as
Yeah.
if it was truth too.
Maze, I think honestly, bro, I think what
100%.
you're hitting on is a good way, bro. Obviously, I feel like we could sit here for like another 2-3 hours
Yeah.
with all the music, all the projects, all the lyrics we can dissect. Tell us, bro, like, you know, what's next to come, right? So you got all this body of work. You know, we're learning more about you now, being in the scene. I've seen you be more active maybe on social media than maybe you've done in the past. So talk to us about like what's coming and what the people can expect.
Oh, man, I mean, I think working with my boy Docs has definitely pushed me to, you know, do a lot more content. So I think you're going to see a lot more like short form reels, videos.
Okay.
You know, we have the ability to do it. You know, we have a really dope collective that is Rare Air, and you know, a lot of talent. But as far as me, man, like, I haven't really thought about slowing down. So, and I think I think my best work is yet to come. I think you could pretty much ask any artist, and they're gonna say that the shit they have that's unreleased is like their best shit.
Well, after the show, I mean, apparently, I mean, you got so much.
Oh, I got
I'm
some shit,
excited.
yeah.
We'll play some
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
after we wrap up here.
We'll put the ox in, man. We about
Yep.
to cipher it up.
Hell yeah.
You know, but hopefully more shit like this, bro. Like, I really love what y'all do.
I hope you had a good time on here.
Oh,
man.
that shit was live, bro.
Yeah?
I
Hell
love it. I love it, man. To me, like, getting, like, I think, like, when you look at content, right, before, like, right now I could drop a song and someone could be like, oh, another Maze Overlay song. Or they could tune into something like this and be like, I want to know who this motherfucker is.
That's why we
That's
do
the-
this. That's
like,
exactly
who is
why we
this
do
artist,
That's
right?
it in a
That's-
bottle.
yep.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why we do this.
And I feel like it's more impactful for people to see who the fuck I am.
Facts.
And, like, my perspective on things, right? Like, people gonna hear me and you talking about King's Dead.
Dude,
Amazing.
exactly.
And they're gonna
It's
love the
awesome.
shit out of that.
We'll
I
talk
feel
about
like
Wu Tang.
we're-
And it's gonna create a talk. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
It's gonna create a
everything.
talking
Everything.
point.
dude.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, another song. And because the music is like, it almost like goes without saying. Like,
Yeah.
you're an artist, right? The food? Oh, yeah. All right, so thank you. I got my visual cues over here.
Oh yeah. Are you going on some Action Bronson, Anthony
hey.
Bourdain? Are we getting that?
You
Are we
got it.
Bourdaining?
So
Bourdain's my guy, dude.
it's
I love
called That
man.
Connoisseur Shit.
But rare air.
Produced by Rare Air, of course. Arnum's a part of it. You know, he's behind the scenes on the video. Turns out he don't like scallops. You know, but nah, man, we We went to Marcelino. Marcelino is one of my favorite
Is
spots.
that the guy that owns Pizzeria Bianco?
No, that's
not-
Chris Bianco.
That's Bianco. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you know,
okay.
Bianco.
He owns another one. He's like all James bearded up and
Yeah,
everything.
he's got
out
the
there.
James
Yeah,
beard.
he's
He
got-
owns
okay,
a
so
couple
it's a different
couple
one, different.
Pizzeria Bianco.
Keep going, keep going.
Pane Bianco, excuse me.
Okay.
So all the Biancos that come from Chris Bianco.
Okay.
That's the guy right there. Like
Makes
I
sense.
know him
It's in the
personally.
name.
He's a great dude, staple in the valley. Marcelino's is like a high end Italian spot in Old Town.
Okay.
And so our first episode of that connoisseur shit is just us going into the restaurant, and what we're gonna do is, pardon me, we're gonna pick my favorite spots, our favorite spots in the valley. Tarbell is gonna be one of them. Clever Koi is gonna be in there.
Clever Koi,
Bianco's definitely gonna be in there. We'll probably do
fire.
the downtown one.
Yeah.
Glybon's gonna be in there.
Nice,
You know, so
nice,
I mean,
nice.
you got,
Hell yeah,
and
hell
maybe
yeah.
we got to do some deli stops too. You know, what I mean, we'll hit Romanelli's and Andrioli's. And
Pala, you fuck with Pala?
What's that?
Downtown, the Woodfire Grill. I think they might have another location. Shit's crazy.
I'm not familiar.
It's kind of near. It's like a block west of Monarch, I guess.
Okay.
But PALA, Pala's Fire.
Right next to Monarch, and I was
You know
gonna,
that one?
exactly, and I stole your boy's spot for a
Dude,
second.
it's
I was
all
gonna
good.
say how the connoisseur shit came about was, as you can see, like we would go out to eat, we would just hit all these fire spots, and this dude would just be breaking down like all the food of like, yo, this is like the uni, and like back in Japan they serve it like this, and there's
Fuck with the
there's
uni.
freshwater,
Sea
salty
urchin?
water, like all this
Yeah.
different shit, and I was like, bro. You really be on your Action Bronson Bourdain shit.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah,
yo, we gotta
yeah,
start
yeah.
putting the camera in
good?
your face.
Dom,
you
you
know
good?
what I mean? No, I was just doing a quick little play. No, exactly. It wasn't stealing the thunder. I was just doing a quick little plug of like, you see this man chop it up. So it's like, that's what he's talking about. Just like, you know, you're definitely going to see a lot more of this man's like personality, a lot more of like, just seeing that like the life he lives really like lives up to the music. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah.
And it gives it a different like context and sort of texture when it's like everyone likes to rap about that food shit or this or that, but it's like, can you really fucking cook a rack of lambs?
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? You
Facts.
really know
We
how
need
to
to
make
get-
a tzatziki from scratch? Like, you know what
I
I
get
mean? So that's
busy.
kind of how that shit came about.
Have you
know
seen
what
the
I mean?
Accidental Bronson like social media thing? We need to get Accidental.
Oh
Maze,
yeah.
dude. yeah.
Who put me onto that?
That was me. I was telling you
Yeah,
about
that
that.
shit
Yeah,
was
Accidental
gold.
Bronson
I'm
is
eating
fire.
rare oysters in a humidor or something. Like, it
Yeah,
was
where
some
you just take the
as
random
fuck.
lines and
Yeah,
shit.
just
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Squeezing bread in Aldi and an all Versace tracksuit.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
It's
exactly.
one of the best ones.
Squeezing bread and Aldi.
yeah.
Dude. Squeezing bread and Aldi is a crazy movie.
With the picture to go with it too.
Nah, man. Like I think that a lot of these young artists, you know, it's a flex for them to be on some food shit, but and Action really does know his shit. By the
Exactly.
way, like Action really is that guy.
That's
Don't-
why Fuck That's Delicious works.
That's right.
That's why that connoisseur
That's
shit
right.
works. It's not like some dude just.
But it's mainly because he a
Capping,
fucking
running
character, and he fucking funny as fuck, and he knows his food shit. He was like a real chef though. You know what I mean? Like, so my boy that put me on, my boy Ghost Jeremy, he's like he runs a food truck in North Texas. It's like about an hour north of Dallas. It's called Family Meal Eatery. It's fire. My man's falafel is crazy. Shawarma is crazy. But he's like a classically trained chef. Like, he taught me all this shit to where now when I go to restaurants, I don't just like I have a full understanding of what I'm consuming, and I understand the processes behind it, right? Like, you don't just go eat some bucatini and be like, oh yeah, this is just fucking spaghetti.
Like if you go like
right?
eat with this man, like he's gonna give you like walkthroughs of like each dish, like he works there. Like he's gonna be like the server. Like, so that's why I was like, no, we gotta showcase all of it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate the what goes into making food is just like what goes into you know, making music. You know, that's why I like what Black Sam is doing. I think Black Sam is really dope because he's in these.
Tarragon butter.
That's right. You know,
The tarragon.
I'm gonna make some.
I like that you're a walking curator.
Hey, listen, Docs or Maze, send us out, bro. Like, you guys can look at either camera. Once you say Drew hit that outro music, you guys can say whatever you want before, and then.
Yeah, Rare Air just hijacked the podcast.
Yeah,
real
we
quick.
did.
We just,
How we sending
took
them off?
over.
I told him, I was like, sit down, dude. This is-
How do you want to send them off? Like, we already did the amuse, we did the appetizer, we did the fucking main courses.
just let them know who
You
they
know?
rocking with. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
so
Let them know they
you
rocking
just-
with Maze Overlay and Rare Air.
Just do a quick, like, I'm Maze Overlay, represent whatever, say Drew hit that outro music, and then basically Drew will drop the music, and that's how the episode will end.
Boom. Okay, bet. All right, so look, this has been, what number episode?
You're number 82.
This is episode 82 on the Within Range podcast. This is Maze Overlay. Over and out. It's been great. It's been a nice connoisseur evening. You rocking with the Rarefied Air Collective. Here we go. My man Docs. Drew, send him off, my boy.
With it range, I say. They always got their hand out for a handout, but I never shook one. No high road, but it's like the high bridge is the place I look from. Mixed with the rhyme, and I think it's time to cook some. That whip come with a push button, 10% low as a little crumb. Can't tell when you within my range. I take the close shot, talking high job, low high, 007 bow tie. I'm in your crosshairs, you dread what you see. That boy so cold, get foggy scopes when folks be staring at me. A dead when you be crop circles on your head and your teeth. I'm talking impaired with 10 pairs of ears on your teeth. Sheesh, my motion mosey progression just like a slow leak. No Kobe, but bro fade anything within 94 feet. You can't complain by catching jabs while niggas catching strays. Cause if you catch a jab, that mean that you within my range. You can't complain by taking stabs when I am sharp and blaze. Cause if you take a stab, that mean that you within my range. Within range. I say.